guys, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I know I did. And before we know it, I mean, the year is done. The year is like ending. I can't believe it. We have just a couple days till 2017 comes around. So I thought it'd be totally appropriate to do the 2016 year in reading book survey. I honestly don't know what this is really called, but is 30 questions asking all about the books that you read during the 2016 year, kind of like superlatives, like when you were in high school, most likely to succeed, who was the class clown, who had the best style. So it's that kind of questioning, but for books. I thought it was so fun and it was really cool to do this. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. There's 30 questions. Let's get started. The first question, I mean, coming right out of the bat with a really hard one is, what is the best book that you've read in 2016? And I feel like I just gotta say it. A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. This was the year of Paul Tremblay for me. I mean, this was the first book that I read this year, and the only book that really propelled me through the whole year that I was constantly talking about and constantly trying to like hype and promote and talk about. So I feel like that this really belongs to this book this year. So, A Head Full of Ghosts. The next question is a book that you were excited to read in 2016 and you thought you'd really like, but it turns out it wasn't as great as you thought it would be. And it's kind of appropriate, but I'm picking Disappearance at Devil's Rock by Paul Tremblay. This book came out this year, and I was so excited about my experience reading A Head Full of Ghosts that when I picked this up, I was so excited, and it kind of let me down a little bit. It was a really good book still, but it just wasn't near the level or just the excitement that I felt when I read Head Full of Ghosts. It was kind of like that sophomore slump, so kind of bummed me out a little bit, but sorry, best and then not so best. The next one is, what is the most surprising, good or bad, book that you read in 2016? And I'm going to say House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubus III. I was so surprised by this because I just came across it in the thrift store for $1 at the Goodwill. I had no idea what it was about. I just thought the cover looked really cool. I read it and it was surprisingly one of the best books that I've read this year or ever. The number 4 question is, what is the book that you pushed the most people to read in 2016? And it's A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. Next is, what is the best series you started, the best sequel you read, and the best series concluder that you read? I'm only going to answer one of these, and I'm only going to answer the first series starter, which is Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I love this book, but I don't really read series, and I did finish the duology this year. I didn't like it, so I'm only just going to answer that I started a series, and it was really good, and it was this one. Number 6 is, what is the best new author that you discovered this year? And for me, that's Paul Tremblay. Number 7 is the best book from a genre you don't typically read, and I don't have it, but it's Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It's kind of more sci-fi, and not really what I reached for, but I really, really liked it. Number 8 is, what is the most action-packed or thrilling or unput-downable book of the year? And I'm gonna say Head Full of Ghosts. I read through it so fast, and I would get anxious in the evenings when I couldn't, like, read it. If I was trying to, like, take care of the house or take care of the girls or something, I would get really anxious until I could pick it back up, so for sure. Number 9 is the best book that you read in 2016 that you think you're going to reread next year. I don't reread often, but I think I'm actually going to reread The Cursed Child because I plan in 2017 to reread my entire Harry Potter collection, and so I would end up tacking this on to the end of it. Number 10 is to pick your favorite cover of any book that you read in 2016. That would be Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. I unfortunately don't have a copy of this book physically. It's only on my phone, but it is the most amazing book cover with those blue waves and that white lettering and the font. I love it. Number 11 is your most memorable character of any book in 2016, and I'm choosing Scorpius Malfoy from The Cursed Child. He became one of my all-time favorite characters this entire year. He was so memorable, funny, but so loyal and honest about it. He wasn't like a caricature of that dorky, you know, lonely kid. He just was. And I'm sorry if everyone that didn't like this book. You're gonna see it pop up a few more times in this survey because I really did like it. Number 12 is the book that you read in 2016 with the most beautiful writing, and I chose Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Number 13 was choose the most thought-provoking or life-changing book in 2016. This one was a little hard for me, but I ended up settling on The Hours by Michael Cunningham. I think that it really covered some really deep, important topics about depression, death, suicide, motherhood, and your place in your decade or your society. 14 is the book that you read in 2016 that you can't believe you waited until 2016 to read. I don't have it on me, but it's The Fault in Our Stars. I had not read it and it had been out for like 4 years. Number 15 is to pick your favorite passage or quote from any book you read in the year. And mine is from Gillian Flynn in her short story, What Do You Do? Or The Grown Up, which was originally published in the Rogues anthology by George R.R. Martin. And I'm gonna have to read it. It is, an inside joke is like the symbol of friendship without having to do the work required of an actual friendship. All right, the next one is the shortest and then longest book you read in the year. Shortest is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and the longest is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Number 17 is the book that shocked you the most, and that was I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. I don't have it, but that was the biggest shocker in a book that I've read this year. Next one is what is your OTP of the year? And I don't read a lot of books where I really root for the OTP. This was a little hard, but I guess I chose Khalid and Shahrazad from The Wrath and the Dawn because I just really was rooting for them, even though it's like, you know, YA fluffiness. I just still wanted them to be together. Next is what is your favorite non-romantic relationship of 2016, and that was Albus and Scorpius from The Cursed Child. Next is your favorite book in 2016 by an author that you previously read in another year, and I just chose Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Best book you read in 2016 based solely on a recommendation of somebody else, and a lot of my books are books that I have recommendations from other people, and but I chose Into the Forest by Jean Hegland. The next one is name a fictional crush from a character that you've read in the year. And I know, I chose Scorpius. I just love him so much. I just love him so much. I'm sorry, guys. Next is what is the best 2016 debut that you read? I didn't read a ton of 2016 releases, honestly, but this was the highest rated one, which I picked With Malice by Eileen Cook. The next one is what is the best world building of any book you read in 2016? And once again, I don't have it, but it is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Next is what is the book that you had the biggest smile on your face while you were reading? I'm sorry guys, I know that so many of you don't like it. I was reading it and I just had this instant wave when I was opening the book of just nostalgia and bringing me right back to, you know, 7, 8, 9 years ago when I was reading the other books for the very first time. I don't know what it is about it, but it just brought me really back into a place of nostalgia that I wasn't prepared that I would be going to. I was not sure I would even care or even buy it at all. So I was just really surprised by how I felt when I was reading it. So it brought me back and I had the smile and I liked it, sorry. All right, the next one is the book that made you cry the most in 2016. I don't really cry from books at all, but I had to choose The Nest by Kenneth Opel. Next one is what is the hidden gem of the year? The Nest by Kenneth Opel. There's like 3,000 ratings and that's it. And what is the book that crushed your soul in 2016? The Nest by Kenneth Opel. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares. I just felt ill a lot while I read it. It was powerful and thought-provoking, and it did things to me. As a mom and as just a person, I think. All right, the next one is what is the most unique book you read this year, and that was Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. It is a novel, but it's designed to look like an IKEA catalog. It even has like an order form in the very back. They even have an order form for like ordering stuff, like a real catalog. So this is really fun. The last one is the book that made you angriest in a good or bad way. And I chose Invisible Monsters because I was just mad that it wasted my time. I hated it. I got rid of it right away. I don't even have a copy of it to show you. I just was mad that it wasted all my time. And I didn't get it. I was mad. I hated it. So there you have it. That is my year in review. 2016 books that I read. This was a lot of fun, a lot of work, but it was cool to just see the books that I read and really kind of summarize them. So I'm really excited to do that again next year and just to see what I end up reading next year. I mean, it's just cool to look at everything you've got and just, I don't know, bring it all full circle. Anyway, hope you guys have a great new year. I'll see you in 2017. Bye guys.